Razor, and welcome back to the studio. And we're joined in the studio today with Mr. Gino Lynch. Gino, thanks for coming back in.
No bother at all.
How are you, man?
Alright, aye.
That's good. Were you watching the Oscars last night?
No, I didn't watch it. I didn't bother watching it. I find them a bit like a anti-climax, you know.
Yeah.
Because there's so many award shows happen before it. You know all the winners before the Oscars. You know what I mean? Because the Oscar voters all participate in the shows that go before them.
Oh, right.
You know what I mean?
So it's like a big setup thing, and the Oscars is just the pinnacle of it, is it?
Yeah. It's like the pinnacle of all the award season. But there's you could name the top 8 winners. No bother last night. The bookies weren't even taking bets on them in the last
Is that
week.
right? That's unbelievable.
Yeah, it was that certain. So I find it a bit of an anti-climax, but it's great for raising awareness for good films, you know.
Yeah.
And it means good films make more money on the back of it and stuff like that, you know. But on 12 Years Slaves, good film, really good film. Gravity's really good. I'd have liked to seen Wolf of Wall Street win something, you know, but it didn't.
But then there's a lot of people out there kind of. When big films come out, it's either a yes or a no with everybody, really, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
But then the same people sort of go, you know, if you mention one big name and say it's a great film, everybody will say it's a great film. Do you ever kind of get that way,
Sometimes
you know?
you do get that, yeah. Like, I mean, the same sort of names get nominated all the time, you know, like Meryl Streep and Judy Dench. People like that always get nominated it doesn't matter what they're in.
Brad Pitt, the usuals.
Aye, the usual suspects.
Well, here, if they give a big shout out, big massive, and this is the biggest birthday I'm going to shout out to Mrs. Brady up in the Armagh Road there, 105 today. Happy birthday, Mrs. Brady, 105. Fair play to you. You don't even look 65. Also to Marie Caffrey down in Dublin for her short film The Cuckoo, RTE short film Cuckoo, and it's got Film of the Week by Crank.ie. Also Mark Curran got his short film Into the Fire, entered into the Film Devour Short Film Festival at the end of March in the Black Box in Belfast. So we'll be going to that, hopefully, bit of crack. And it's good to see my friends out in Philadelphia getting their Banter bands. Razor for the Philadelphia Banter bands. So that...
Well, you were in Mark's film too, weren't you?
I was in Mark's film too, yeah.
Really good, so.
And Jason, my son.
Aye.
Yeah, but Mark's, he's brilliant writer. You know,
he's got great ideas, like.
He has brilliant. He's Mark, you're a star, and I do want you back in here, Mark. I need to talk about your film. Well, films, but he's wrote several things, and his drawings, you know, like his illustrations are fantastic. He's very, very gifted, you know. Yeah. He actually done one of me, big muscly version, big giant toy. And he put it up on the internet, and the minute I looked at it, I thought, that's me. You know what I mean? He's great man for detail, you know.
Oh yeah.
You and him, you bounce off each other too, don't you?
Yeah, like we get on from years ago, you know, and working in McCoy's and all. When I used to work in McCoy's, he used to drink there and used to talk about films and making stuff, and
he's very into it, isn't he?
We always argue over stuff.
But that's good. That's constructive arguments, isn't it? Yeah. Mark, I have to get you in here for the banter, and as I say, congratulations getting your film into the Film Devour Film Festival.
Yeah.
Big shout out to Golf Jug as well. Big shout out to Golf Jug. So, beautiful day, isn't it, for a change?
Oh, yeah, it's lovely. It's great to see the back of all that awful weather. I got soaked last week, and we're up in Belfast. We're up in Belfast and all different locations doing a promo for the Grand National. For the Grand National? The one and only Grand National? The Grand National for Channel 4. So they came over and done some stuff over here. It's set, it was the 150th year of the Grand National.
Oh.
And so this is set 150 years ago. And they go around like this old village, and it's all, you know, old style people and all, and they're having fights and all, and they're talking about where the inspiration for the Grand National started. You want to see the setup? It was crazy. Big zip lines, huge camera rigs on these 4x4 Mercedes things. It's mad.
What do you mean? So the four-wheel drive Mercedes are pulling the cameras along the zip lines?
They had zip lines for starts. There was a camera going along a zip line behind 2 horses going across the village, and then they had a camera on this big rig on top of a 4x4 Mercedes, and the guy controlling the camera was inside the Mercedes on these wee wheels, and the horses would just gallop down the field and jump over a fence, you know. So the Mercedes would drive down, and the camera's on this big arm, and the arm would start here and it would drive down. The arm just followed them as they jumped. It was unbelievable.
How much? What sort of money are you talking for that? For that bit of equipment, that would be.
Well, it'd be obviously rented in, like, but I wouldn't know much. Like, it was just like a big feature film they're doing. Only they've done it over 3 or 4 days. You know, it was all old style stuff, and the cameras they had were like big cinema cameras, and it was mad. But we were doing was we were sparks on it, pulling in cables and putting in the distribution and all, so we didn't get up close and set that off. But we got soaked, covered in mud, you know, pulling cables through fields and all.
And then you're right, you've no cover, have you? You know, the elements are just sort of there on top of you.
Yeah,
know?
you need to have the right gear on you, like.
And at the same time, you can't just walk off set and go in and get your coat or anything. You just know when you're there, you're there.
You need to make sure it's on you, because funny enough, when I got out of my car, we had a big rush because we didn't know where the truck was. The truck was parked in the wrong place. And a big rush, jumped out of the car, ran over the Jenny, the generator, started getting cable off the generator, started pulling it through this field. Doing this for about half an hour, looked down and was wearing my runners. They're covered in mud.
Now I know why you got new shoes. I was wondering, I seen the new shoes the other day and I said to you, you must have treated yourself.
It's because the other ones got covered in mud.
There you go, the truth's out in the Banter show, would you quit?
So they covered in mud and so I got a break after about an hour to run back and change into my work boots, you know. But no, it was a mad experience, you know. It's just, it'll be on the telly in 2 or 3 weeks. But this is the second year Channel 4 have had the Grand National. And last year's advert, if anyone remembers it was all shot in England, I think, but it was horses jumping into people's backyards and stuff.
Oh yes,
you know?
yes. And was it with the same crew involved in last year's? Or was it done in England? Or?
It was done in England, I think.
Yeah.
It wasn't done here. But they came over here because of the old style, you know. They went to the Folk and Transport Museum.
Yes.
That's out by
Cultra, is it?
Yeah, out by Cultra. And it's got all the old style villages and all that they were going for, you know. And then I think McCoy's in it as well, but he wasn't there when I was there. They're shooting a bit in England, and he'll be in that wee bit. But they're pumping some money into it, you know. And then they would sell the thing all over the world, you know, the coverage of it.
Yeah. Well, obviously it's a pretty big, even though it was an advert. So it was only, what sort of time frame was that advert?
Well, it's going to be like, sometimes you would see, like Nike, the odd time during the World Cup would have like a 3-minute advert, or during the Champions League final, it'll be something like that. It'll be like a 3-minute advert they'll play for a couple of days, maybe on their racing, when the racing's on, or on a Saturday. Yeah. Or whatever, but for the most part, it'll be all condensed down to 30 seconds. So it'll be like a little 30-second per month.
That's mad, isn't it? Mad. For the amount of work, as you were saying, the 4-wheel drives, the big zip lines, for 30-second advert.
I know.
And
it shows you the money in the Grand National. It's just a multi-million pound day, you know.
A day, one day, literally.
And the whole nation is just glued to it, you know. So all the money they get from the different advertisers, and the gambling, that's, you know, the money the bookies make and all. It's just
and there's always the few people that pick the winners here in Uri.
I know there is. There's some people that
every single year
pick the right one. There's a fella I know picked the winner 3 years in a row, and they were sort of favourites, you know. And in the 4th year, when like I was 100-to-1 shot won it, he picked that as well. It's like, hey.
I know.
You know what I mean? It's like a lucky dip at the end of the day, isn't it? Like?
It's a very lucky dip. I don't think I've ever won it. I've got second and third.
I've got second and third a few times. I don't think I have won it myself.
No. I won the Irish one time.
Right.
1 year I got the winner of it. Okay.
Right.
And lucky touch, but we got the word down in the stand, you know. And just made it to the bookies in time. Got a few quid, you know.
A few days. Well, that'll be on in a couple of weeks, and then the race is on in April, I think, start of April.
That's right, yeah. And for one day, every bookie shop in the town was packed, wasn't it?
Bunged.
The whole day.
The whole day.
There's people who never, ever gamble. Just that one day they're in.
Yeah.
You know, it's a bit of interest, isn't it?
That's it.
As you know, that the horse racing over here in this country is always big.
Massive, yeah. I'm not hugely into it, but stick a few quid on something, you know.
Yeah, it's okay to go out for a day at the races. Don't get me wrong; it's a good day,
It is,
good
but
day
it
out.
can be like I've been to the races a few times. I don't mind watching them. It's a good enough experience. But see, going down to the wee bookies that are at the side track, nightmare. Nightmare. Just people all over the place and people fucking throwing money at the bookies and all, and the bookies just taking money, and there's just people everywhere, you know. And then you've got your wee fiver bets, tenner bets. They don't want to know, like they push you away.
Oh,
because they want to get the 100 bets, they want the 500 bets, you know.
Oh, certainly. And then you see awful old, you see some rare carry on down at the trackside.
Oh, big time.
You know who's. If you sit and watch it for a while, you know who's hooky and who's not hooky.
Oh,
Because
big time,
there's a lot of strange bets goes on. Like people just don't bet on horses just to win. They be betting, you know, want that one to come in third, or second, or it's ridiculous, you know. Yeah. But to me, the bookie always wins.
Most of the time,
you know, most of the time, like, you know.
Yeah. Sometimes they get hit, like, but at the end of the day, like them big organisations, you know, big bookies, who've got loads of shops. Their odds are spread over. You know, it's like a big safety net. If one bookie gets hit, they're all not going to get hit. You know, the odds are in their favour, and the more shops they have, the more, you know, safe their business is, like.
Yeah.
So if you've got a business with like 300 bookies, they're going to make money, like.
Of course.
Whereas one bookie, and say someone who owns a private bookie in Uri, they could get hit the odd day, you know.
Aye.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, but if someone's got 300 bookies, if one gets hit, so what, like?
Yeah, it's a dent, isn't it? It's only a dent in the armour. You can beat that back out again and recoup it.
But it's a multi-million-pound business now, you know, with apps and advertising and.
Well, gambling's gone. Did you ever see as many bingo sites getting advertised?
Aye, mad.
Where are they getting them from? Every time and it's always round. You know, if you put on the daytime TV, you know, the usual Jeremy Kyle or Very Very Vile, as I call him, his show, it's surrounded by bingo this and bingo that.
No, you would think that he wouldn't have those, or they wouldn't have those sort of things advertised during Jeremy Kyle. You know?
With all the problems in the show.
You know,
they let all the problems are in a show, and then they shove a bit of gambling on just for a commercial, you know. And people don't cop it on either, do they?
No, they don't. No, but gambling's only been advertising of it's only been legalised in the last few years, you know. So that's why now it's just never off the telly, like.
Yeah, and it's funny. It's different over in the States.
Aye, it's banned over there. You can't even gamble. You can't even gamble in most states. Yeah,
most states it's illegal. But you know the Irish over there, they like to have their punt.
Aye, well you would, if you'd find like bookies and like ropey pubs and that there, you know, somebody would take illegal books, like.
It works, always has to work, you know.
I said, aye, but Vegas, that's the place to go if you wanna.
Vegas is the big one, isn't it?
Yeah, that's it.
Were you ever there?
I was there a few years ago. Amazing.
Must be mind blowing, isn't it?
I have to go back. It's an amazing place. Not even just for gambling, but
the views and everything else.
It's like get Disneyland only for adults, you know.
Yeah.
Just whatever you want to do, you can do it. Like.
Did you eat it? Obviously, you went out for a bite to eat.
It's beautiful food.
The plate's about that size, was it?
Lovely.
That's the first thing I noticed when I went to America. I went into a restaurant and the plate was about that size.
Yeah.
And I was going, obviously, they made a mistake here. But they don't. Us Irish people should be eating children's portions out there. That's what I think anyway. I never see the children's portions.
I know, massive.
They're massive. But even the cars and the buildings, everything's just big, isn't it?
Yeah, everything's big.
You know, you expect that, but you don't be ready for it till you get there. That's it, you know.
But even like a lot of apartments and all don't have cookers, don't have, you know, they just eat out all the time.
Well, eating out, but it's so cheap over there, isn't it?
Yeah, some people just eat out all the time. They don't cook.
I have to say, I like a wee bit of cooking there myself.
So do I.
Like to get a bit. I've seen your cookery.
Aye, my turkey curry.
That's fabulous. We'll not go into that here in the bottom of the show, but it's very good. I like your style. You put me back in the old days. I'm trying to think of his name. He always used to crack. Floyd.
Oh right, I thought you were thinking of the Naked Chef, Jamie Oliver.
Well, I was thinking of him, but Floyd come into mind. You know, Floyd always pours a good glass of wine and throw a wee bit into the food there. It was a good demonstration, I have to say. A fair play to you, you know.
There might be more on the way.
Oh, very good.
Maybe more on the way.
Very good, and I can't wait to get back into a wee bit of A wee bit of the old madness there behind the camera, you know.
Yeah, hopefully.
It was a great day for it there, isn't it?
Oh, it is, yeah, it definitely is.
Powerful day.
Yeah.
We should be getting up to something bad, shouldn't we?
Yeah. But hopefully we'll have a series of Newry News coming up, and I want to get a load of stuff done, you know.
Yeah.
Hopefully in the next month we'll get a lot of stuff filmed, you know. Fingers crossed, and yeah, you know.
Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed, get it out there, and you know, it's great crack, and everybody's so positive about it and all, and people responded very well. Some people don't like it, you know, but what do you do?
But yeah, that's it. You know, you always get this. You know what I mean. It's same. People either like you or they don't.
That's it.
Very, very simple.
That's it.
But we only do it for the crack, don't
Only
we?
do it for the crack. That's it.
It's a laugh. It's supposed to be a laugh.
Good crack. It's good for crack doing that thing on what do you call him? That singer, Gareth Brooks. Gareth Brooks.
Some people haven't really liked it at all. You know?
No, but
especially Gareth Brooks fans don't like it.
No.
You know, and they probably don't like me. You know, even though it's only a bit of crack and a bit of acting.
Well, you see, that's you're touching he's like a god here, you know. So if you start messing about with him, but go for it, like I know.
Go for it. Life's too short. You know, don't take it so serious, isn't it?
I'm not fussed on him, you know. So
no, I'm not fussed, and I don't like that sort of music. You know, not for me. I need a wee bit more upbeat. Keep yourself alive type of music, you know.
That's it.
Go crackers. So yeah, well, obviously the biggest part of making shorts is the script.
Yeah, especially with comedy, that's the most important bit, and it takes the longest time, and sometimes you don't get it right, you know.
Yeah, but you've had many a sleepless night making the script. And then just when you get it all done and all the rest, and it's filmed, then you have all the sleepless nights for editing, then, don't you?
Yeah, well, like if, for example, the Christmas one we did there was for a full week solid we done it, and I was round the clock, like shooting it, editing it, animating the cartoon and stuff, and it was a lot because we had to get it out before Christmas.
Yeah,
that's why there was a limit on it, you know. Whereas if you done something generic like Newry News, there isn't really a time limit of when you can put it. But if you put a handle on it, like Christmas has to be out before Christmas, or Halloween has to be out before Halloween. So.
And there's no mistaking it. You have to get that done and out, and it has to be pushed out, and done tastefully as well, doesn't it?
Aye, well, within reason, you know.
But I'd love to see you going mad there some weekend and breaking your own rules.
Aye.
Yeah, I'd love to see you breaking your own rules and coming up with something really completely crackers, you know.
Yeah, hopefully.
You're well capable of it, but it's a new challenge. A new challenge for you.
Well, for hopefully now coming up, we always want to do new stuff all the time and do stuff that's different and better than what we did before, you know. I don't see the point in just doing the same thing over and over again. So.
Yeah.
But see, maybe it's had but I do see a lot of potential in it, you know. If you nail the right idea, the right thing, people will latch on to it, you know. But we want to go for it the minute is politics. I think Northern Ireland politics is ripe for comedy, right? Ripe for satire, you know.
Yeah.
Even the nonsense happening now with Robinson and all, you know. It's just like politics in Northern Ireland. It's just like kids at a playground, you know.
It's big in Northern Ireland. I have to say the politics here in Northern Ireland is big.
Yeah.
You see the minute you step out of Northern Ireland, which is what I found, you know, for instance, when I was living in London, and you're watching the BBC News in London, you know, if you're sitting in a restaurant or something, and you know, with your colleagues that live in London, English people, and they can't get over, they're going, who the hell's running Northern Ireland?
Yeah.
They're going, they're saying over there that these people haven't got a clue here.
They don't see.
It's so petty.
But they don't get it. You know, you sort of understand why people outside of Northern Ireland don't get the troubles and don't get the politics of it. You think you have to grow up in it to understand it, you know?
It's just everybody's happy bickering.
Yeah.
That's what I think, is they're all happy bickering with each other up at Stormont. Get a load of food and drink and invite us all up for a big party.
You see, they do that now just for the sake of it, like. You know, they bicker with each other and it's like, you know, one-manship over each other. Who can get one over the other one? It's got nothing really to do with, you know, sometimes it does with what they believe in. It's to do with, you know, how can I get one over him in the media? How can I get one over him in the media? And it's just, you watch it, it's just like a sitcom, you know. It's just like a comedy.
Primary school.
It's just like
primary school politics.
It's stuff like.
But it really, it's so petty, isn't it?
It is, like, I mean, the complete focus should be on like economy and, stuff
Health
like that.
and stuff, yeah.
But it's not like, it's the focus is on like somebody
What he
who got
said.
put in jail in the 70s, somebody who is opposed to a flag, getting taken down from City Hall, and then that creates riots and all. It's just like, it's a flag.
Yeah. What about
Focus
the
on
poverty?
Poverty,
Health.
health.
The state of the health, the state of the hospitals.
Yeah.
They've let the hospitals go to damn.
If they focus all their energies into stuff like that.
And give the people what they need, what the people need.
But I think a lot of people do live in the past too. Like, and it's a very small minority. But like, you see them with the riots and the troubles and all. There's no need for any of that anymore.
No. Who wants it?
No, and that's why I think, because it's so dated, all that stuff, that it's ripe for comedy.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's been tackled well yet. Comedy-wise.
No, it hasn't been tackled. And anybody who does tackle it, the likes of Jake O'Kane,
Aye.
he's brave enough to tackle it. There's comedians out there that won't touch it.
Aye.
They're afraid of, that side will not like me anymore, or that side will not, I have to be very careful. The likes of O'Kane there, he doesn't give a damn, he just lashes it out. And fair play to you, Jake,
Yeah.
But political comedy in Northern Ireland, it's always been either hot or cold, isn't it,
Yeah. But I think people would like it,
But as far as I can see, the younger the new generation, the likes of our studio engineer over here, Andrew, and all people, young people around your age, I'm sure these guys don't want to see trouble. They wouldn't want to go back. If you had seen Hill Street back in the day, and the Quays, the whole way up and down the Quays, everywhere was bombed out.
Yeah.
They burnt out. There was nothing left. Literally, there was nothing. Only rubble on the streets.
Yeah.
I sure don't want to go back to that,
No.
And I'm sure you wouldn't like that onto yourself, would you? The younger generation, that seem to be more progressive.
Oh yeah. Well, see, they haven't experienced that,
Yeah.
as much. That's probably why, like.
Well, thank God they haven't,
That's it.
Moving on swiftly, the younger generation. Razor for the younger generation. No, they seem to be, they're cooler, they're more switched on,
Well, they're more focused on their career and different things. Yeah, there's some. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with politics. It's great people getting into politics and stuff, but it's just the representation of politics and by different parties. It's very dated. It's very, Nolan's show is just it's comedy now. Like, it's not. You watch it for having a laugh at how daft everybody is.
I couldn't even watch it.
You don't watch it for its intellectual stimulation.
Oh yeah. You watch it for the screaming and the shouting, and
Watch it for all that nonsense. Like, it's just sort of like the Jerry Springer show, only it's in the form of political discussions.
were you ever up at it?
No, I wasn't.
I think we're going to have to do a wee bit of research and
I must
get a
go
ticket
up.
to it some night and go
Yeah.
up. We'd even do a bit of heckling. We'll heckle Nolan, will we?
Yeah.
But I don't know what way this place is. It going to stay like this forever here? The political situation.
Yeah.
I think it's. Are they ever going to agree or?
I think it'll 50 years, 100 years time, it'll be gone. Like it'll be, you'd like to think so.
You'd like to think the new generations could take it over and be more progressive about it.
Aye.
Well, that's what I think anyway. It's progress we want, isn't it?
I said, aye.
We don't want to go back to the old days. They're done.
Yeah.
So what else is next then? So you're filming coming up. I suppose you've various scripts to do,
Yeah.
and then you have to put all this together.
Yeah.
Get your
Well,
cast, crew.
there's a few days this week. I was got a call this morning. A few days this week to work on as a spark on something. Don't know what it is. And then after that, just get the scripts done and lay into getting good stuff online and just trying to give it a good push.
Yeah. Are you back up in Belfast again then?
I'm in Enniskillen, I think.
Enniskillen? Oh, it's nice over there. Very nice over there. It's good. It's a long enough drive, like, but it's it's a couple of hours, like.
I'd be an hour and a half or so if you.
Yeah. Lovely place, but lovely lakelands and
Yeah.
beautiful scenery to film
They
around.
do a lot of filming around there now, so they do in Enniskillen.
Is it for tourism or something? Is it?
No, it's horror film.
What?
I don't know much about it though. I just know it's a horror thing. And there's just 4 days on it there. They shot it apparently in December, but there's 4 days of pickups. There's like
Yeah.
extra stuff that they need, extra shots here and there they need. So
And is it feature? Is it feature film? Or?
I think so, but we'll see how it goes. It's very low budget and all, but we'll see. Like.
Yeah, it's just stagecraft, isn't it? And somewhere different for you, different
That's
scenery.
Yeah.
Do you just get to Belfast and then they take you on over to Enniskillen, or do you go straight to Enniskillen?
I'm not sure how it's going to work. I'll have to, I'll be told tomorrow probably. 'Cause I think it's Wednesday. Start for a few days.
Oh right. Then that'll set your own projects back a tad then.
Aye.
But you don't mind.
Well, I love doing my own stuff, and that's what I want to do. So I really want to focus on that from next week on,
Yeah, so it'll be all from next week on.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very good. Well, it's I can't wait to see what you're going to come up with.
Aye, well, I've got a load of different ideas, so it's just a matter of getting them done now. One of them's called Reservoir Republicans. I want to do it. Another one is Stormont Street Fighter.
Wow.
And then if you're in news, want to go back to it, I want to do a few of those. What else have we got? Might do a few cookery ones.
Oh.
We'll see what happens.
Comedy or real cookery?
No, well,
comedy.
I thought the one I did was a nice cuisine I cooked,
It was. I went to I cooked according to that recipe, and I can tell you what, folks, it nearly killed me. I'm not joking you. And it was mangled into the bargain. The amount of stuff you told me to put in.
Oh, aye.
Red wine, yeah. Instead of putting a cap full and the whole bottle went in, bottle and all. But it's always good out crack, and you have to, especially, you've done that many scripts recently, you've completed that many little shorts,
Aye.
the comedy skits. It must be hard just to come up with fresh and different all the time.
It is hard, but I think we're on the right track. There's another one we want to do about a taxi driver, a Joe Maxi driver, we're going to call it, and I think it should be good as well. So, but it's hard to balance it and getting people in who have jobs and all, So that's the tricky bit. But at the end of the day, if we always do it for a bit of crack, that's the main thing,
Yeah, and I suppose without you've got their lighting kit and all the rest. Without the lighting, you couldn't do it, because the way you do evening shoots.
Aye.
And it's supposed to be lit up like day and all the rest, but I say without your lighting, that's it. You couldn't. You just.
Aye, well, it comes in handy, with lighting and shooting it and that. There's a lot of work in it,
Oh yeah, and the ordinary person sitting watching these videos, they can't see the work that goes into them.
They shouldn't see the work that goes into them.
Yeah.
When people go to the cinema, they would just see a film,
Yeah.
And that's the way it should be. But if then you go onto a set and you see the people involved, like I was saying when I was in that Dracula last year, there's hundreds of people.
And Ben Kingsley was in that one, wasn't he?
No, he was in a different one.
In the different one, yeah. And there was just hundreds and hundreds and hundreds.
People. But they're not all people would think, oh, they're all like filmmakers, so they're not like, when I'm there, I have no contribution into what's happening on screen. It's heavy work, it's skilled, sparks, labouring, setting lamps, setting things right, it's knowing your safety, knowing loads and all. And then you've joiners, you've riggers, you've got wardrobe, art, there's so many departments across the board. And then you've got departments that work on different sets that aren't that are preparing for the shooting crew to come in. And
it's unbelievable. And I've been on sets in London, and the last big one I was in London would have been The Look of Love, Michael Winterbottom, and the size of that set was unbelievable.
It's unreal, but it's great to see working there, the buzz you get.
Yeah.
There's a buzz that happens, it's just because you work flat out for a few hours, and then once they're shooting, you might get a wee breather for half an hour, maybe a bit more, and then it's back again.
Back in again.
Yeah.
But even the dolly systems, it's like a mini railway system.
Dolly systems, you see some of the camera cranes they have.
Unreal.
Like 100-foot extension arms, that they would control on these wee wheels. They can go 100 foot in the air and go 100 foot that way and go 100 foot this way. And the camera just shoots out, following people and stuff.
It's unbelievable, isn't it?
Yeah, the money involved is just...
But it's great to see that technology coming on. What's it going to be like in another 5 years?
Yeah, that's what they keep saying.
What are the cameras going to be like? But you know yourself, the price of the cameras nowadays. Next year, that camera, the top camera now, it might be still top next year. The year after that, it's not. It's okay.
Yeah.
But they're keep on and on and
The
on
technology,
upgrading, don't they?
especially at around about the £1,000 to £2,000 bracket, the values just plummet after a year. You know, plummet. Camera, a couple of years ago, you would have got £2,000. It's probably about 400 now. You know,
Shocking, isn't
it's
it?
just the and all the companies are in rivalry with each other. You know, Panasonic, Canon, and stuff. And yeah, in 5 years, who knows what the cameras will be like? Who knows what
What they're going to be capable of.
I know.
Because even your ordinary phone now, your mobile phone, the camera, the video system in it,
Unbelievable.
the way you can upload it is straight on to whatever site you want it to.
Yeah.
That was unheard of 2 years ago.
Yeah.
3 years ago, absolutely, completely unheard of, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And you, as a filmmaker, nowadays, some of your cameras even have the built-in Wi-Fi on them that you can send out.
Yeah.
It's incredible, isn't it? Really?
All the technology's mad. Like I remember in the early 2000s, they were talking about digital,
Yeah.
and they're all laughing, saying digital, no chance. They're going, you can't do it. You know, you can't capture stuff onto a card that's suitable for and all this. People were just saying you can't do it. 5 years later, they're making films with digital cameras.
That's crazy, all right, isn't it?
Yeah.
But I still like the old analog cameras, you know, because if it moved for the likes of something moving on screen, digital is digital. You know, you see it going like that, and it's blurred. But the real good analog cameras with a real good lens on it that captures everything still crystal clear, that digital can't cope with, I think, you know.
Yeah.
You know.
There's so many different cameras and so many different, like, they still use film, you know, but the problem with film is it's so expensive to buy in, because the old days used to shoot on like film stock, which was like 35mm film, and it's like 12 minutes you get on a magazine. So you imagine the amount of magazines of film that would
Big
go through.
reels.
You know, so it's 12 minutes on one of them. Imagine the amount of them that would go through, and then all that has to be sent to a lab and processed to get an image that you can see, you know. Whereas digital now, if you get digital cameras, like the Arri Alexa would be the top one in cinema, the digital ways. When you've got it all set up, you can see what you're doing, you can see what's happening, you know.
Yeah.
35mm is a lot more expensive and a lot more time consuming, but a lot of people like the look better than digital, you know. So.
Yeah. But I've never seen as many people making films nowadays.
But that's because the cameras are so cheap. You know? And the internet now's got so much information on it. People read the internet, read a few pages and go, oh, I'm a director now, so I'll go out and make something. Or that's not really the case, you know. Yeah. It takes years and years of learning how to tell a story, you know, learning from other people. Like me, I'm miles away from doing anything, you know, what I want to do. Miles away, like. Because I'm on set, I can see how brilliant the people are at the top of the game. Like, they're just exceptional, you know.
Different league.
Doesn't matter how cheap cameras get or, you know, how much information's out there. It's all about what you do with it, you know. It's all about what you do with that camera. It's all about how you tell a story, and it all comes back to the script. Doesn't matter what equipment you have. If the script's not right, there's no point in even
going out.
No point in even going out. If you've got the best filmmaker in the world and your script's rubbish, he's going to make rubbish. Like.
Yeah, it's going to turn out rubbish, isn't it? Yeah, and you need to have the right frame of mind and all that as well, don't you? You know, for it, you need to be set up, everything ready to go, in a timely fashion. You know, structured.
Yeah, and you need to commit your life to it, like.
Yeah.
That's why you see in Hollywood, all these people getting divorced all the time, and you know, people getting divorced 5 times, because someone could go off and make a film and they're away for 4 months. You know.
Yeah.
How can you have a family life with that sort of thing? You could be in Kuwait for 4 months and they're working all the time. Then they could be sent to London for 2 weeks to do promotional work, sent to Paris. You know, it was a brilliant life. I'd love to have that life, but I'm just saying, balancing that with a normal life is very difficult.
Oh, if you either need to commit to your family life or commit to your film life.
Yeah, and that's why you get a lot of splits, you know, and you get a lot of, you know, especially 2 actors who hook up with each other. You know, one could be doing a film in Italy and one could be doing a film in Los Angeles. They're miles away from each other. You know, and then they get back together for a week, and then they get a phone call, you have to go here, you know.
Tough world. But I mean, it's a good...
It's great, it's the best.
It's great.
it's the best industry in the world, I think, to work in, no doubt about it. But you have to commit your life to it, you know.
Well, that's it. Well, you've started to commit your life to it, so keep on committing there, Gino, you know.
Hopefully, yeah.
Yeah.
It's still a long road, like.
It's still a long road, but you enjoy it, and you enjoy making their shorts.
I enjoy. See, I never want to get fucking too ahead of myself.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, I never want to say, oh, I do it because I like doing it. Simple as that. If people like it, they like it. I'm doing it because I like doing it, you know.
Well, that's it, you know, and you're getting the views, so that's a good thing, you know.
As well, and improving.
Yeah.
You know.
And funny enough, I have noticed, even with the likes of me and Q on set with yourself, it gets easier every time we get on set.
It does, yeah.
And it seems to happen quicker.
Yeah.
You know, we always would do the first scene or whatever it is, get stuck into it, and then you can see you going now, and then you tell us what direction. And next thing, it seems to happen, doesn't it?
Yeah, like the Gareth Brooks one was very fast, wasn't it?
That was very fast. I couldn't believe how quick we done that.
We done that and very quick.
And that was Q. Actually, the poor fella was actually in crutches, wasn't he?
He sprained his ankle.
And then I hit him on the head with a cheeseburger. Didn't help him either, did it?
No.
But it was great fun, and we always enjoy it, don't we?
Yeah,
great
crack.
Always good crack. Well, listen, folks. We're getting the old time out again there from our studio manager here, Andrew. So, listen, Gene, thanks for coming in. I appreciate it. And if you want you back in again in the future, tell us more.
Will do, yeah.
And keep us up to date, will you?
Okay,
thanks very much, Gene. And by the way, a big shout out to Redmond Fitzpatrick, Jim Fitzpatrick's son. Jim's fantastic artist in Dublin. So, his son's doing very well directing in LA. So, folks, it's that time of the day again today. We're out of here. Me and Gino. Razor.